Hey y'all, it's Michael. And here are the books that I read in August. All right, so the first one is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is the first book in the Farseer trilogy, which is the first part of like a huge long fantasy series by Robin Hobb. And overall, I really enjoyed this. I just want to start a huge fantasy series. I'm starting another one also. And I just wanted to just get into that world, and this was actually really good. I looked it up to see what I can reveal and what I cannot according to the synopsis. In this world, we follow Fitz, who is the bastard of the king, and the king basically steps down. Follow Fitz as he goes through his journey of learning how to become an assassin's apprentice, because he has this ability called the wit, and it's kind of like it's like a form of power where he can connect to things. He can connect to like animals and whatnot, and I thought that was really cool. I love the way that this like magic, I guess you could say, is explained, because in my mind I was visualizing it. My favorite aspect of this is that it really falls in line with what I love so much about low fantasy, which is that it's like a little bit more grounded down to like reality, but obviously something more magical is going on, a la like Game of Thrones. And I'm really excited because I feel as though that this is going to give me that same type of vibe. The writing, I'm really liking. It's first person, and I was like, okay. And it's one of those stories where I see, like, especially with this as the start of the series, where something is bigger than we as the reader know. Like, there is something going on. I feel it in my bones, okay? That there is something just beyond what Fitz is able to comprehend. I'm hoping to read like one book a month, because luckily this was the book that was the longest wait at my library, and I'm excited to read the rest. So yay! All right, the next one that I finished, hold up, let me pull it back up. As you know, I started reading the long list for the Man Booker, and so far it has been mid, okay? Mid. So the first one that I finished was Orbital by Samantha Harvey. This is a story about six astronauts. I'm gonna call it astronauts, okay? Okay, six astronauts who basically go up to the space station, and we follow them as they do astronaut things and view Earth from, and we also get like a little bit of flashbacks as how their life was back on Earth. This I thought was more vibes than anything. At least this, compared to the other ones, the writing style for me for this one, I enjoyed it a little bit more, and it does have, it's really a book where it's literally just vibes. Like, it has this contemplative vibe, and it's just very like serene, and it's quick. It's really quick. Like, the book is really short. And overall, I thought it was just okay. I gave it like 3 stars on Goodreads because I think it's like a solid, just like okay book. And the one thing that I'm gonna say, like, so far, this book, and the next book, and then the other book that I'm reading from the long list, is that none of these books so far, y'all, I'm gonna be so honest with y'all, is giving me that, oh my god, you need to read this. Like, it's just not giving me that, and I'm kind of disappointed because, like, in my head, I keep thinking as I'm reading these books, like, how did this get nominated? Now, I'm not gonna lie, Orbital, I think it's the one that I was like, okay, I can see how this got nominated, because it does have that, like, again, like that very contemplative, philosophical thoughts. Some of these aspects of the storytelling is really cool, especially how we're viewing an event like natural disasters. Well, not natural, like natural events from the space station, and knowing and seeing how it's viewed on Earth. I thought that was like, oh, that's really, really cool. And I love, the one thing I did enjoy about this is like all the different characters, and then seeing how they're all interacting and whatnot. But overall, I thought this was a solid book. The next one that I finished from the long list was Wild Houses by Colin Barrett. I gave this 2 stars. I did not like this that much. I personally, again, don't think it is like, oh my god, you need to read it. The one thing that I felt as though that was really like, oh, I really enjoyed this aspect was the dialogue. This is the story about, follow me here, okay? It's a story about Doll, okay, who gets kidnapped, and we as the reader follow Doll, the kidnappers, the person who owns the house where the kidnappers are holding Doll, and then Doll, we also follow his girlfriend, okay? My favorite aspect of this is the dialogue, as I mentioned, and I love the way that they talk. I was like, I heard it in my mind of how they're talking, because this takes place in Ireland, and I was like, oh, that's really, really nice. But again, the one thing that similar to the next book I'm going to talk to y'all about is that the writing style for me for this, I really did not groove with. And as I mentioned before, this has that writing style where it feels to me when I'm reading it, the rhythm of when I'm reading the story has this very similar, like it feels so one note of the syntax where it's just going like subject, verb, and it doesn't, for me, it's not giving me that like craving again that this book is saying, oh my God, you need to read it. The story does keep like getting pushed and like propelled, and the pacing is like this, because especially towards the end you're like, okay, I see where this is going. It has this like quick wittiness to it, like but for me it was, the writing style just was not clicking with me. I this is the type of writing style that I really don't enjoy. Again, it just feels very repetitive. And so those are the books that I finished. Overall, that was pretty good. Not that bad. Okay. I was reading, again, like as I mentioned before, My Friends by Hisham Matar, but that got that was due at the library, so I had to return it. All right, and I'm still continuously reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. This is like stepped down as my like last book to read, because I usually have like a hierarchy of the books that I'm reading, and I'm putting this last because I know for a certain, like I have it in my gut feeling that James by Percival Everett is going to be on the short list. Like, if I'm seeing all the buzz and whatnot of all these, of what the book sphere is talking about, I think that book for sure is going to be on the short list. So I have time. In my mind, I have time to read Tom Sawyer, then read Huckleberry Finn, then read James. But so far as I can say, because I'm halfway through Tom Sawyer, I like it. I know that's controversial, especially given the time period of this, but I like it. And here's the thing, a lot of people here's what I'm seeing a lot from book online, and I completely understand it, is that a lot of people are reading Huckleberry Finn and then going to read James. The thing though is, to me, okay, to me, I thought Huckleberry Finn was the second book, because Tom Sawyer is a different character, and you can really tell from here, because especially when he meets Huckleberry Finn has like a different vibe. Like Tom Sawyer to me seems like he's very mischievous and very like a little boy, like like little boy in the country. There are parts in here, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like that's very humorous. And so far, the hijinks that him and like all his friends are getting into, I was like, oh, this is like an adventurous book. So I don't know what's Huckleberry Finn's gonna give me, but so far this Tom Sawyer book, I was like, oh, I'm kind of grooving with it. I kind of like it. So far, I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. I am about 75%. I literally have an hour left, I believe, according to the Bookly app, which is the next book from the Man Booker, which is the Safekeep by Jael van der Wooden. I don't want to give definitive opinions on it yet, because there's like something happened in the story as I was reading it. I was like, oh. Okay, but I have been seeing, I have been seeing, here's the thing though, when I see, like book reviews and whatnot on social media, I don't let that affect my thoughts, okay? But, here's the thing, when I see these three books, right, Orbital, Wild Houses, and The Safekeep, a lot of people don't have the most favorable opinions on these, and The Safekeep to me is just like, Um, okay, like first off, my let me get. First off, my library. I don't know where the book is. My library classifies this as mystery, and it is not. Okay, it is not a mystery at all. Okay, the mystery is where is the writing for me. Okay, for me, because again, it's doing the same thing that Wild Houses is doing, and is this like a thing that modern writers are doing? Because I'm not grooving with that. Like again, it's like subject verb, subject verb, subject verb, and I was like, oh my gosh, the writing style, I'm just not grooving with it. I'm just not. It's about Isabella. We follow her, and basically, she gets forced into. Well, she gets coerced from her brother for her brother's girlfriend to stay with her at their house. And then they clash because they're too like she doesn't want her to stay at their family house because like she's really like a loner and whatnot. And then things unfold from there. And so far, meh. I'm about to be finished with this, and unless this twist, now I'm not gonna lie, the twist I was like, oh, okay, can bump it up for me. So far it's just like 2.5 out of 5 stars. Like it's just literally in the middle. It's nothing. I'll tell you, the one thing that I do enjoy about this, I know I'm not giving definitive things, is that there is this aspect of, I can see why someone from my life, whoever tagged it, classified as mystery, is because it has this ambiance of it all, of where it's like very, like, it's very just mysterious vibes. Like, it's giving mysterious vibes, but not a mystery, if that makes any sense. So yeah, there's that. All right, the book that I have started like reading, and I'm reading it with like a quickness because the book is due soon at the library, and I'm reading it on my Kindle, and the long list on it is long, so I need to finish it like as soon as before the hold is up. And I started Misbourne by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the Misbourne trilogy, and it's part of the Cosmere. The only book that I've ever read from the Cosmere was The Rhythmatist, and we read that back years ago from for my YA book club, and I thought that book was so cool. That book, it was like Chalk Zone, if y'all ever remember that that Nickelodeon show, but instead of him going into like the Chalk Zone, in this world they fought with chalk, and I was like, that is so cool. And the way the symbols, I thought that, I was like, oh, this is really good. Misbourne, this is about a world where they use allomancy, which is like ingesting metals, and each metal has a specific like type of power that they can inhale or like use up as they digest the metals. And then we have people like Misbournes who can actually do more than one of the 8 common elements. There's 8 common metals, 2 rare ones, and then some mysterious ones. I don't know. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so much. It's like fun, adventurous, like fast paced. The one thing that for me, is a little bit more like I want more is just, while the world building is really cool, I just wish there was more of the writing style for it. Like the writing style is very simplistic. It's not like similar as when I'm reading it to those other 2 books. It has like a different vibe to it since it's like more fantasy wise and whatnot. But so far I'm really enjoying it. It's like just a fun book to read, and I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping to dive into this the Cosmere. So yeah. All right, that's about it so far. I'm hoping to read more books throughout this September. Y'all, when I tell you my reading so far, I'm not gonna lie, it's been pretty good. Pretty good. So we'll see. All right. If you read any of those books, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.